I'm very excited for. I just want to thank you all so much for coming out to Ladylike again. We are here the second Saturday of every month at 11 o'clock. So if you liked what you saw tonight, please come back. If you didn't like it, well, don't fucking tell us. We're fragile people. That's why we're up here begging for attention. But are you guys ready for your last comic? This lady is here from New York City, and she's super funny. Please welcome to the stage, Monroe!
Hey guys. My name is Monroe, and yes, that is my stripper name. There's no pole up here, so it's a really different kind of show than I'm used to giving. I'm really nervous being on stage with this many clothes on. When people find out I'm a stripper, they naturally assume I'm a great person. So clap if you're single. And keep clapping if you're a doctor. I'm really looking for a rich man who doesn't want a prenup, but they're hard to come by, so I'm trying to trap one with a pregnancy. Melania made it into the White House, so that gives me really high hopes for my possible future. I went to the protests, and now I'm afraid Trump might deport me. I'm American, but I've had a little Mexican in me every day this week. In strip clubs, there's always mirrors. Recently, I was kind of zoning out while I was giving a lap dance, and I was wondering why all those mirrors were there. And then I realized it's so I can stare myself in the eyes and remind myself I'm a human being and I have value. I got paid $500 to let someone suck the deodorant off my armpits. It felt like a carpet getting deep cleaned. Have you ever been getting a lap dance from a stripper and she refused to face you? It's a signal that you smell bad. You should take a fucking shower. It's the worst part of my job. You know how airlines charge extra for people that are overweight? I feel like I deserve extra when I'm giving lap dances to people that are overweight because I have to spread my legs so far, and it makes it really hard for me to really do anything. So it really limits the amount of money I can extort from that person. I've been dancing way too long. And I've developed this bad habit where every time I meet a new woman, I immediately evaluate how much money I think she would make as a stripper. But it's becoming more of a problem because I've started to go to parks and do it to little kids. I'm developing ways now to stomp out their self-esteem so that they don't become my competition in 10 years. So Lord knows I'm not saving any of this stripper money, so I will definitely still be stripping in 10 years. Oh God, I'm screwed. Stripping's a really difficult industry. You're never young enough, you're never thin enough, and you're never blonde enough. Basically, you're never JonBenet Ramsey enough. If you forgot who she was a little 3-year-old beauty queen that got murdered in Colorado, and I'm going to hell. My dad died when I was 11, so shocker, I have daddy issues. People try to make me feel better about it, and they say, oh, your dad's in heaven, and he's always watching over you. It's not really the best thing to tell a stripper. Which brings me to my next point. I really wanted a new MacBook Pro. And I met this guy, and he said that he wanted to be my sugar daddy. Now, when I was a child, I got molested just enough to be okay with being a stripper, but not enough to be okay with being a prostitute. So this man found me on my comedy Facebook page and was like, I want to be your sugar daddy. And I was like, okay, come down to the club and let's do a champagne room. So he came to the club and he wasted like 20 minutes of my time. And it turned out that he did not want to do a champagne room, which would have resulted in my MacBook Pro. But what he wanted to do was give me LASIK in exchange for sex. So I found his wife on Facebook, and let me tell you, hell hath no scorn like a sugar daddy's wife when she finds out what he's been up to. So she's my new best friend. She actually called me the other day, and she said that she won the house in the Hamptons in the divorce. And she's like, "You're welcome to stay here anytime." Awesome. Okay. It's going well for me. When I started dancing, I started in Fort Lauderdale. It's the classiest, grossest city there is. And my second day ever, I was in the locker room, and this girl was screaming. I was like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with her?" So the managers come running in, and she bends over and pulls open her ass cheeks. And she said earlier that day she had gotten her asshole waxed and then went into a high-intensity tanning bed and got sunburn on her asshole. So the managers pull out their cell phones, one of them was filming, and they're looking at her asshole with the lights. And they said, "No, those are herpes sores and they're popping. Get back out on the floor." That was the day I learned why strippers wipe down the pole before they get on it. Don't want herpes, not a good look for my job. So let me ask you a personal question. How much money would you need to let a stranger come on your chest?
Like a dude?
Yeah.
$5 million.
$5 million?
Okay, 50,000.
You whore. 3 months in New York City rent is the correct answer to that question. So let me tell you my reasoning. I was like, oh God, summer's coming and you don't make a lot of money at the strip club in the summertime. I only make like $900 a day. That's not enough money for me. So anyway, I'm in this champagne room and I was like, okay, you know what? You can't get an STD from here to here. How about it? So, I'm not gonna be homeless this summer. Heyo, thank God for that. What else do you guys want to know about me? What have you always wanted to ask a stripper? As a matter of fact, do you want to lap dance right now? After the show? I gotta make a quick $20, so. I feel like you're kind of into it. Like you're kind of hoping that I come into it. Are you? Are you a little bit? How do you feel right now?
I feel pretty gay.
That's the first time that ever happened to me.
No offense, that's just how I always feel.
I'll forgive you if you pay me. No? Okay. Mortal enemies from now on. I'll never forgive you. Oh my God. Do you guys want to hear a totally true story about 2 members of the audience right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a really crazy life. Like, I don't know if you caught on to that yet. So I met this. So I came to Boston once upon a time 3 weeks ago, and I did comedy at the Golden Banana, and I found out that people at strip clubs don't want to see comedy. Shocker. So then I left, and then I met this man, and it turned out that he was a heroin dealer. Like, okay, I'm not okay with that, but you know. So I'm hanging out with this heroin dealer. And he seemed fine-ish, you know, other than the fact that he was selling heroin. So we exchanged numbers, so I thought. And then I had gotten booked on this show, and I had to go to Chicago to do comedy yesterday, and then I was flying here today. And so I texted him like 3 weeks ago, and I was like, listen, I need you to pick me up from the airport at 9:30, and then I have a comedy show at 11. Are you cool with that? And he's like, yeah. And we're talking, well, kind of vaguely. And then at some point in this conversation, I said to him, like, listen, I know this is really awkward, but it's really important that I never get in any kind of legal trouble. I need you to not have any drugs in your car. And he's like, okay, I want the same from you. And I was like, it's kind of weird because I'm not a drug dealer that he knows of. So anyway, this conversation continues to go on and on and on. And like, I'm on the plane strongly believing that I'm meeting up with this like 32-year-old black drug dealer guy when I get off the plane. And then I get off the plane and I look at this text message, and it was this guy, this random stranger that I've never met before in my entire life. And he sends me a selfie and he's like, hey, I'm here to pick you up. And I was like, who the fuck are you? And he thought that I was someone that he met on like a movie set, and I thought he was this 32-year-old black drug dealer, and he wasn't. And now I have a new friend. So, I hope you guys liked my comedy.
Yeah.
If you want to see me half naked, you can follow me on Instagram at Stripper Comedian. If you want to see me totally naked, you can come to the strip club anytime. And if you want to date me, DM me your credit score and all your assets. Thank you.